What's up, everybody? It's Big Blue Power Hour. We are back
Back
from a
again,
long
Seth.
hiatus. Talk about New York Giants football. Got 3 weeks of training camp. Uh, so we're just going to talk a little bit about the Giants, a little bit about what we think about the season. And how you doing, Evan? What's going on, man?
Doing good, man. Good to be back. This will be our new time slot, Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern, for the foreseeable future. Hopefully, all year. I'm glad to be back, man. I missed a lot of last season, but it's good to be back on the show. It's good to be back talking with you guys. I missed you guys so very much, man. I really did.
Yeah, but like I said, it's good to be back, and a lot of changes this year, especially on the defensive side of the football. Some new additions, in the draft and everything, and hopefully some new additions to help our offensive line and our pass rush as well.
Yes, sir. So, Danny, I gotta ask you one question though.
Yep.
What the hell are these old 100-year-old uniforms that we gotta wear?
I don't know. They wanted to be accurate, and I appreciate them being accurate. I agree the pants could be a little bit better, but I kind of like them, to be honest.
I don't mind the red coming back a little bit. Not too much red,
I like the
but
jersey.
man, I can't get behind him. The jersey's not bad. He's a little bit too Buffalo Billish for me, but I can't do it,
The
man. I
other
just
alternates are like Buffalo Bills, the white ones, almost. They're
no,
like the Giants, but they look like the Bills sometimes.
no. I thought at least I think they should definitely do a whiteout game with those
Yeah,
legacy jerseys instead of the big blue helmet. Just make a white helmet with a blue outline. It would look very sleek, very good. Kind of
yeah.
like Penn State. Kind of, I think they should kind of like jock that style a little bit.
That's because
But
you're a Penn State fan.
yeah, I don't care. It's better than most. But yeah, well, yeah, of course. I think Penn State. Well, not getting off track here, but I think their uniforms on the whiteout game. It's one of the best in this. Something that the NFL could adopt.
I
You have
think
the
it's a
terrible
nice uniform.
towels, but they are
Yeah,
called the
I
big
like the
blue.
white ones.
But look at the Colts. You have the Colts that do an all blue. You have Buffalo. They do an all blue or an all red. So what's the
Yeah,
next color of our colors? So why don't we do it all white? We have the Eagles who do it all black. Dallas kind of does it all white, but theirs is more
yeah.
white, silver, and blue. And
They
then you
could
have
have
the
done it.
Redskins.
They could have done the pants like the jersey, like similar, like with the same line pattern down the side, with
The
the
one
same
thing I
color.
don't mind though is like I know the pants are tannish. If they would have made like a new emblem celebrating the 100 years of the Giants,
Yep.
if they would have made the red, put a more blue in it a little bit, and then outline that in like a gold symboling 100 years, like they did with the 50th Super Bowl,
Yeah.
I think that would have been cool. That like instead of having like have the regular red or white pants,
Hmm.
like where whatever you want to do, but have a little bit of accent of gold in there because it is 100 years of the Giants being here. So I thought
You could have
that would have
used
been a better.
the color. You could have used the color of the pants like that because it is like a gold kind of weird color. And Eileen
Yeah.
says she likes the jerseys. What's up, Mike? What's going on?
What's up, man? Just got off the phone with him like 10 minutes ago.
I hope all is well. I hope all is well. Down the Philly area. But yeah, like I said, I like the jerseys. Some people hate them, but I kind of like them a little bit. I think they grew on me a little bit. At first, I was like, but I like them. I
Yeah,
don't
but
think they're
everybody hated
terrible.
the was the 2000 red jerseys. Everybody hated them.
Oh,
Now
don't wear those ever again. I hate those jerseys. But the red with just the white numbers,
yeah,
those are awful. Those are
dude,
awful,
I had to
awful, awful
beg my
numbers.
father because I had my first jersey was an OC Human Euro jersey, and then I had an Eli Manning jersey. So I was like,
Yep.
"What can I get this a little bit different?" Because I had grew out of those, like this, puberty years, man.
Mike says he
See,
likes the all whites.
all
Yeah, the all
whites.
whites are nice with the old school helmet. They're real nice. They're
Now
real slick.
imagine
They're
the
real
80s
slick.
style, like the legacy helmets. Imagine the legacy helmets just reversed. Make it white with blue lettering.
I think it'd be interesting. I mean, I think it would look. I think that's too Buffalo Billish though. But I would like it. I do think
Buffalo's blue
it
red.
would look. I do. I love the just off topic. I love the old school red Buffalo helmets, the red ones. Those are cool.
But like I said, like for the like my jersey, I grew out of 2 jerseys, so I wanted a red Justin Tuck jersey, which I still have to this day, is a red Justin Tuck jersey.
All whites versus the Kelly Greens in a game.
Yeah, you're not even using your Kelly Green against us this year. You're going against Dallas, using them for Dallas.
Yeah. Do lag a little bit there, but yeah, I really like the uniforms. Evan will be back, but I really like the uniforms. But next topic we're going to talk about is the Giants are going to be on Hard Knocks this year, which I'm going to find very interesting. And Dable's going to have to be on his best behavior, because Dable really really like had a frustrating season last year, and you can see it on the sidelines with the way the Giants season went. It was just a disaster last year. Welcome back, Evan.
I had no idea. No idea. Let's continue. I'm sorry.
You're still
Can you hear
lagging
me?
a little bit. I hear you now. Yes.
I don't know what is up right now.
Yeah, but I was talking about the Giants being on a Hard Knocks. What do you think of that?
I don't like it.
You don't like it?
I don't know, man. If there's more dysfunction than I think there is, like I think we're a good run organization. It's just I don't want to see if it comes out that like Tish is a moron or the Marr family are just horrible people. I just don't want that to be like it brings too much light to your organization.
I'm more interested to see the players banter at each other, and like I'm more to see the players and how they are and how they interact and stuff like that.
Oh my God! How did the trailer? I want to say that. How did the trailer?
Hold on. Paul says, "What's up, gentlemen? Not a fan of the jerseys. I like the all whites. Yeah, I like the all whites better. I will admit that. So
I think like what I was guessing, how that trailer to Hard Knocks that last 10 seconds when Shane was like, "Are you going to give us a chance, Saquon? Or are you not going to?" Or he's like, "Are you going to work with us, Saquon? Is that your word, or are you not going to give us a chance?" And that just left a cliffhanger for the entire. That could be the last episode of the series, and people are going to wait for that.
yeah, got a question here. Do I like the O-line help? Yes, I like the O-line help. Runyon Jr., Illuminor. I'm interested to see if Azudu's going to get any playing time or McKeithen's getting any playing time. I think that Aaron Stinnie might get playing time, but for some reason they're playing Illuminor at the guard right now. That's where they have him. They had him there in OTAs, but I don't know if it's going to stay that way. But I like the line help, but the key is Evan Neal.
Yeah,
and I want Andrew Thomas to stay healthy.
Yeah, Austin Schlottman too from Minnesota, also. So
I don't think they're going to be starting him over JMS.
Not
JMS needs
starting, but he's definitely a good rotational piece.
If JMS definitely a good rotational piece. Yeah, if he gets hurt, but I like some of the O-line help. I think Runyon Jr. was a good signing. I think Illuminor was a good signing, and you're paying them both under $10 million this year. I think you're paying Runyon Jr. like $7 million this year or something like that, because I think it was like a $17 million deal or something. But like I said, about Hard Knocks, I'll answer your question in a second, Paul. About Neighbors, but I think it's a lot of spotlight, but I'm interested to see it regardless. You did see more inside with Brian Daboll. You know what I'm saying? Evan, you froze again. Yeah, Evan's having technical difficulties, but I'll answer this question. Malik Neighbors is going to be really good. I think he's going to. The Giants haven't really had a player like him, so you know, I think he's going to make a big impact. I really like Malik Neighbors. I think he's going to be a big difference maker. I think it's going to be pretty balanced. You know, with Neighbors, with Hyatt, with Slayton, with Wendell Robinson, and you know, we'll see who like the fifth guy is going to be. Hodgins, I guess. But Malik Neighbors is going to be really good. I like his attitude. I like his demeanor. You know, he seems like he's going to be a real good ball player. So I really love the pick, and they need a guy like that. They haven't had a dynamic receiver since Odell, and you saw how good Odell was. But will it equal wins? I don't know. But I think the passing game is going to be pretty balanced. I think the wide receiver room is much better than it was. And I think Hyatt will have a better season. But now you got your route runner, your all-around receiver, Malik Neighbors. You have Hyatt to take the top of the defense. You have Slayton, and you have Wendell Robinson in the slot. So I really like the wide receiver room. I think I think they've done a good job. Let's see. I'm interested to see how if what's his name, Bryce Ford Wheaton becomes like one of the guys they keep, because he got hurt last year. He was like 6'3". He was like a rookie last year. So I like it. I really like Malik Neighbors. I think he's gonna make a big difference. Neighbors will be a stud. What's up, Evan? Welcome back.
My phone, it just keeps kicking me out for some reason. I have no idea.
That's much better actually at the moment. It's much better right now. It's better than it was.
I agree. Neighbors will be a stud. I believe. Like I said, I'm guessing the starting three is going to be. You have to put Hyatt in there, but is Hyatt good on the outside? Like
you can play him in a slot. I think Hyatt will be better, but you have to worry about Malik Neighbors, and you have to worry about Wendell Robinson.
Robinson's going to be in the slot though, so
exactly. But you still have to account for him. You have to account for Wendell Robinson, is what I'm saying. So if you're gonna, you might have to double Neighbors if he ends up being really, really impactful.
So if me and you just went over the first 4 games, which is Dallas. Well, it's Cleveland, Vikings, Dallas,
Vikings, the Vikings, the Commanders, Seattle? The Browns, and the Cowboys. That's the first 3.
So, 4. You thinking about it?
Minnesota has a rookie quarterback, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, as long as they don't get blown out 40-0. You know what I'm saying? That's really
but I kind of want to bury McCarthy at the first game. You got to bury him.
Yeah, and like I said, getting Brian Burns, but I want to just get to this comment right here. Paul says Jayden Daniels, when asked who he thinks the rookie of the year will be, said it's Neighbors. Said hands down should have been the Heisman. Without him, I'd be nothing. Jayden Daniels said that. Yeah, I really like Malik Neighbors. I think he's going to be a stud, like a lot of people think, and that's what they need. They need an impactful guy like that, and they haven't had a guy like that. Dallas has CeeDee Lamb. You have the Eagles have I can't remember it. I can't remember his name at the moment. He got hurt last year. The Eagles receiver. I can't remember his name at the moment. I think Evan froze again. Yeah, you froze again. Let's see. Neighbors outside. Remember, Brian Thomas Jr. demanded safety help, and still both 80 balls caught. Yeah, he was good also. AJ Brown, that's it. Yeah, Devontae Smith, I knew for some reason I couldn't place AJ Brown's name for some reason. But they have impactful wide receivers, and that's what you need. You need an impact player like that. But I think the wide receiver room is much better than it was, And I'm interested to see will Darius Slayton will be the 2 or the 4. I think Hyatt could be the 2. Wendell Robinson could be the 3 because I think Wendell Robinson and Hyatt have more talent than Slayton does. But Slayton's the most experienced guy. So I think, like I said, I think Malik Neighbors is going to be pretty awesome. And I think Theo Johnson, that tight end from Penn State, will be solid also. I don't think the tight ends will be featured for the Giants in their offense, but I think that I really like Theo Johnson. He's going to be probably a number 2 tight end. He could even be the number 1 tight end by the end of the year. I think he's a talented player. Mike knows who Theo Johnson is. He went to Penn State, I think. 6'6", big target. I really like that pick by the Giants. And another guy on the offense that I like is Tracy Jr. from Purdue, their running back. I think that running back, Singletary is the running back. You have Singletary, Eric Ray, Tyrone Tracy, which I think he's going to be pretty good. I think he's going to be a good running back. Joshua Corbin, Dante Miller, and Jacob Sailors, who's a UFA. Miller's undrafted free agent. So, but I think your top guys are going to be Singletary. Tyrone Tracy will be like the second guy, and Eric Ray. I don't know what to expect from him. I really don't know. Yeah, Tyrone Tracy was a wide receiver at Purdue, and he transferred to running back, and his coach said he just was a natural at the position. Has good vision, good cutback skills. He was a solid player at Purdue for a first-year running back. He had a pretty outstanding season in the Big Ten. So I think I like Tyrone Tracy a lot. He's a later pick, but I like that pick a lot. I think he's got a lot of talent. Yeah, it's definitely not a bad running back core. Yeah, like I said, for the Giants, their key is their offensive line and the quarterback position. For the offense, how are they going to play? How is Daniel Jones going to play? Is Evan Neal going to struggle? At least with Evan, if Evan Neal struggles, you have Illuminor to step in to tackle, and maybe they'll have to kick Neal to guard. But we'll have to see how that goes. I think they're going to give Neal another shot, but the Giants have weapons. They have a couple solid running backs, but how's their offensive line going to play? I think Runyon Jr. getting him helps big time. I think that helps a whole lot, solidifying at least one of the guard positions. I'd rather have him playing next to Thomas, to be honest, but I think they want Runyon over there to help Evan Neal. And the right guard play last year was brutally awful, and that doesn't help Neal also. It's really unfortunate that Evan Neal got hurt because I think he could have improved a little bit, and he didn't play like the rest of the season. So I think their passing game will be balanced. And now you don't got to feed it to Barkley. You don't have to feel like you have to force it to him. And Jones, I don't think is going to, be forcing it to players because he has a rapport with Hodgins, with Slayton, with Robinson, with Hyatt a little bit. Even though Jones didn't play, the remainder of the season after he got hurt, and you have Neighbors, and you have Theo Johnson, and you have Bellinger. So I think their weapons are much better than they were. Malik Neighbors obviously is the key. He's the big impact player you want him to be. But like I said, how is Jones going to play? I think if he's protected, I think he'll play well. But I think the offense will be balanced. And another difference this year is Dable is calling plays. Dable's going to be the play caller. And I think that's going to be a little different. So, I like Kafka, but I'd rather have Dable calling the plays. And with a guy like Neighbors, you're going to be able to open up the offense a little bit. They really weren't able to open up the offense at all last season, and they're not going to do it with Tommy DeVito. I think they would have been all right if Tyrod Taylor could have played the whole time and didn't get hurt. But, with a guy like Tommy DeVito, I don't know. We got Drew Lock as our backup. So I really don't want to see Drew Lock starting, but if Jones struggles, maybe you'll have a QB controversy. Who knows? I really can't tell. But I do like the Daboll's calling plays. I love the Neighbors pick. I like the Tyrone Tracy pick. I think the wide receiver room is pretty solid. It comes from like one of the more bottom wide receiver cores of the league to like the middle, and maybe Neighbors will get them in the top 10, and statistically wise for wide receiver groups in the NFL, because just a guy like that makes a big, big, big impact, and that's why I think they had to take him. Yes, Tommy DeVito is on the practice squad. He's a third string guy, and that's what you expected, though. And their fourth string guy is Nathan Rourke, is just a body, I think. But like I said, the offensive line, the quarterback play, I think is going to determine how successful their offense is. Because if Jones gets hurt or Jones doesn't play well, then you're going to have to go Drew Lock, and who knows, maybe Drew Lock will play better, but I really don't know. Theo Johnson replaces Waller. He's not Darren Waller when he was healthy, but Theo Johnson is a 6'6" target. So I think your top two tight ends are going to be Bellinger, and he's going to be the second guy. He could be the number one guy by the end of the year. I think he's that talented, actually. They have Lawrence Cager, Manhurts. I think Theo Johnson's going to be better than people think, but I don't think the tight end is going to be very featured in this offense. It's going to be Neighbors and the wide receiving core and spreading the ball around. I think that's how they're going to work it. And then you have Runyon Jr., you have Illuminor. So your starting line will probably be Evan Neal, Runyon Jr., JMS. I think the other guard could be Aaron Stinney. It's going to be Illuminor, I think, to start, because they've been having him play there, and Thomas. The thing about Andrew Thomas is he has to stay healthy. He's a little fragile. He got hurt last year at the beginning of the year. He was out a while. And without Thomas, they're in trouble. No matter the quarterback back there, without Thomas, they're in trouble. But maybe Illuminor could step in at left tackle if Thomas actually got hurt again. So, like I said, we'll see what happens, but that would probably be your starting line. And will we have a QB controversy? I really don't know. I really can't say. Possible, But like I said, I think the addition of Malik Neighbors, Theo Johnson, the running back they picked, their wide receiver room improved. I think they improved their offensive line a little bit in the offseason with the new additions. So you got to hope Evan Neal is going to perform. And, one thing I'm going to say is, can Carmen Bracillo fix Evan Neal? I really don't know. Because Evan Neal has talent. And it's crazy how he has regressed. He just looks like he shouldn't even be in the league. And I hate to say that. That's a high pick you took Evan Neal with. So, I think the number 7 pick. So you want him to at least be salvageable. So see if Carmen Bracillo could fix his technique and maybe teach him a thing or two. And I really can't say. It's really a wait and see. I've always been a wait and see type of person, and we'll see how it goes in training camp, and we'll see how it goes in the preseason games. That's where we're going to give Evan Neal his test, and if Evan Neal fails, we'll have to figure something out at right tackle. But I think that's why they got Illuminor, because he can play guard, he can play tackle. Stinney can play guard, possibly. Like I said, I'd rather have Runyon Jr. on the other side, but it is what it is. We'll see what they decide. Just going to do our sponsor here in the middle, and then I'll talk about the defense. When I heard 1, 2, 3, attorney Jason Fine, attorney Big Al Jason Fine. You have your motor vehicle accident, slip and fall, workers' compensation, personal injury claims. They have 3 locations: Philadelphia, PA, Cherry Hill, New Jersey, and Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania area. If you ever have legal trouble, legal help, call them, Jason Fine. you'll get a discount from us. If you use our name, Out of the Box Sports Entertainment. So 1-800-123 attorney Big Out Jason Fine. Call him with your legal troubles if you ever have any. And let's hope nobody does, because that could be a pain. Got a comment here. That is true. After you have training camp and guys get cut, you can always pick up other guys off waivers and fill your depth if you need to. If you don't find depth at all, the players you've brought in, undrafted guys and such. So, but now I'll talk about the defense. And obviously, the big news they had is they traded for Brian Burns. And I think he's going to make a big impact in Bowen's defense. I think he's going to make a huge impact. Cost a little bit, cost some money, cost some assets, but I think it's worth it. Obviously, you're going to have Kayvon Thibodeaux on the other side. And I think this defense is going to, with Bowen, it's going to fit Thibodeaux much better. I don't think Wink Martindale's scheme really fit Thibodeaux. Yeah, I think he'll have more production under Bowen, without a doubt. So I love the Brian Burns pickup. I love that trade. Azeez Ojulari, I don't know. I think Azeez Ojulari could be a surprise cut, maybe, because Azeez Ojulari can never stay healthy. If he stays healthy, that's 3 good outside linebackers you have. You still have Basham, but he's not really. I think he's more of a defensive end. He's like a run stopper. Bobby Okereke, I think, will have another good season. So I think we have Bobby Okereke, McFadden, Ojulari, and Brian Burns. I think that's a real good linebacker core. I think Brian Burns is a great pickup. Then you have Isaiah Simmons as well, who's listed as an inside linebacker. So Isaiah Simmons can be a situational guy. He can cover tight ends. He's really good in coverage, and he can rush the passer. So on somebody's plays, you have to like you're gonna have Burns, Thibodeaux, Ojulari, and Simmons all on the field situationally at once to rush the passer. So I really like the linebacking core. So and they also picked up some good undrafted guys. So like I said, I like the linebacker core. Brian Burns, I think, is going to have a big impact. Thibodeaux, I think, is going to have a better season. I think I'll have a little bit more production, 11.5 sacks. So I really like the linebacker room. The secondary, I think, is where you have more of your questions. Obviously, for the nose tackle, defensive tackle, you have Dexter Lawrence, Roche Nunez, Roche. You also have Jordan Riley, they picked up last year. Jordan Phillips, Davidson, Ryder Anderson, they're all depth guys. But I'm interested in who's going to be the tackle if they're playing in a 4-3 situationally. Who's going to be next to Dexter Lawrence? Because Dexter Lawrence, I think, you also have to worry about him. So you have Lawrence, Thibodeaux, Burns, Ojulari, and Simmons, and they're all talented. I think their front will be better than their secondary, and the secondary really is the question mark for them. So, but like I said, you have Deonte Banks you got last year in the secondary. I think he'll start. I think he'll have a better season. He struggled a little bit. We still have Trey Hawkins they got last year, who I think is a talented quarterback, but he was overwhelmed a little bit because he's a rookie and he's a later round pick. You drafted Andrew Phillips from Kentucky, who's a very talented cornerback. I think he'll make an impact, but he's a rookie, so you really have to see, how that's going to go. Another pick I really like. You also have Jason Pinnock, who's not bad. He's a good safety. The pick I really like is Tyler Newman from Minnesota. He's a ball hawk. I think he's going to be one of our, and Dane Belton. So Dane Belton, Tyler Newman, two young guys. We have Jalen Mills as backup. Javarius Owens, I think he'll be a backup. I think your two safeties are going to be, it could be Pinnock and Newman, and Belton if he proves he could start over Pinnock, because I think Jason Pinnock was a solid safety last year. And then your quarterback's going to be Banks, Hawkins, Andrew Phillips. You still have Darnay Holmes. So I think for the defense, the secondary is really the question mark. How their secondary is going to play, I really can't say. So we'll see what happens. But if you have any questions about the defense, just ask. But I think the front is going to be much better than it was last year. But they're also learning a new scheme, especially for the secondary. It's a little tougher. For the guys that are up front, I think it's a little easier going into a new scheme. So we'll see what happens with the defense. But like I said, I don't know if Evan's going to come back. He was having technical difficulties. I think another guy we get back is Greg Minot. Him getting hurt last year was kind of tough. You might be able to pull a couple games out with him not getting hurt. Talked about the uniforms. Got training camp coming up in 3 weeks. I think Jones will be ready for week 1. And, that's probably what everyone's looking at. Like I said before, the two things about this team, their offensive line, their quarterback play, the impact of Neighbors, and their secondary. Well, Neighbors I don't think is a question, but quarterback, O-line, and their secondary. Those 3 things, I really can't determine if they're going to be solid or not. So, 1 second. So, yeah, I mean, we still got 3 weeks till training camp. So, they have the players they have. Obviously, they'll bring a lot of guys in. Let's see. Hope the Giants have a good season. Yeah, I hope they do also. I really hope they do also. But like I said, also Brian Daboll's lost some weight this year. Like if you can tell, he's slimmed down. 1 second. Seeing Evans come back. I got another question here. I thought the offense was pretty bad last year. If you could score more points consistently, keep the ball away from the other team, I think it makes a big difference. A big difference. Yeah, so since Evans having technical difficulties, I might stop in like 10 minutes. But I thought the pass rush was solid last year. The Giants actually created a lot of turnovers on defense. A lot of turnovers on defense. That's one thing they're actually good at last year. They could capitalize off the turnovers. You get a turnover, and they wouldn't score points. They go 3 and out. Their offensive line was so bad, and DeVito had a couple good games where he'd hold on to the ball so long, and you just knew going into every game like, oh, they're screwed. There's just no way they're scoring any points. Like so, it almost didn't really matter if they got the ball and forced turnovers because their offense was so ineffective. Like I guess they lost Jones, and then they stepped up a couple points a game, but I think they averaged like 15 points a game, 14 points a game last year. Maybe it stepped up a little bit towards the end of the year, but it was awful. Like it was one of the worst offensive lines I've seen in a long, long, long time. So I think that's on Giants fans, especially, that is what's on our mind. The offensive line. And I'm of the opinion if the offensive line plays well, you'll get good quarterback play, even if he's average. So what I would like to see is a season like 2022, but you have more weapons this time. You have a Malik Neighbors. You didn't have a guy like that 2 seasons ago. So if the offensive line can play well with guys like Malik Neighbors, Hyatt in his second year, Wendell Robinson was really solid last year, and Slayton and Hodgins, I think that's some good weapons. Singletary obviously is not Barkley, but I think he's a solid running back. I think him and Tracy will be splitting the carries. And I do think Burns will be the sack leader. That's why I think he's way more talented than Thibodeaux is, but you have to worry about both of them now. And like I said, if Ojulari could stay healthy, and you have Thibodeaux and Burns and Simmons, those 4 guys could all get to the quarterback. They could all pass rush. Like I said, what I like about Isaiah Simmons, he can cover. It's really big. So, let's see what Bowen can do with the defensive weapons you have, and let's see what Dable could do with the play calling, and with Malik Neighbors. I think Malik Neighbors is going to make a massive impact, and they had to take a guy like him. They really had no choice in the matter. So, like I said, but I'm going to wrap it up in a few minutes here because my co-host is having technical difficulties. As we get closer to camp, we'll have much more stuff to talk about. So you have Hard Knocks coming up. I think that's going to start, I guess, when training camp starts. So that will be interesting to see. I haven't really looked up the date it's supposed to start, but some people don't like it, but I kind of like it a little bit. You can see it behind closed doors what Dable's like. So Dable's got to be like on his best behavior. Because you see him, but you don't see him all the time, like the way you're going to see him in Hard Knocks. But for me, Hard Knocks, it's more about the players. I like seeing the players and how they interact and stuff like that. But I'm going to wrap it up here. Kind of, touched on the offense, touched on the defense, touched on the additions on the quarterback position, on the offensive line. But those 3 things, the O-line, quarterback play, and the secondary, I think those are your questions. I think the wide receiver core will be fine if you can get some protection for your quarterback. Give him some time. A guy like Malik Neighbors, you just have to get him the ball, it'll take off. That's why I like Neighbors a lot. So, but thank you everybody for watching Big Blue Power Hour. We'll be back next week at the same time. And, everyone will fix his technical difficulties. It just happens sometimes. Thank you everybody for watching Big Blue Power Hour. I am Dan and Evan. We'll both be back next week and give you more Giants content, and we'll see if we receive any more news. But the weeks before training camp, you're not really going to hear a lot of changes and stuff. So it's kind of like another lull in the season. You have the lull before the draft, then you have the draft, and you have the lull before into OTAs, and you have the OTAs, and you have the lull between the OTAs and training camp. So, but from what I've seen so far, Malik Neighbors is going to be a monster. So, but thank you everyone for joining us at Big Blue Power, and we will see you next week.